What's up, party people, and welcome back to my channel. So I've tried to incorporate my little 4.5 foot Christmas tree into my backdrop, and it's just a little, it's okay, little Christmas tree, I see you. Today, we're testing out a potential dupe for the Too Faced Just Peachy Matte eyeshadow palette. So this released in August, I believe. So I did an entire review over a bunch of the products from the Just Peachy collection, and this was definitely the MVP in my opinion. Just a quick little update. This isn't really something that I gravitate towards a lot because first of all, it is all matte. And second of all, I can't complete an entire look with this just because I do like a little bit of shimmer here and there, and this is just missing a little bit for me. And I did have a couple of problems with the darker shades in the palette, so I did return the first palette I got, and I got this one instead because hopefully it was just a batch inconsistency, because I did have a problem with the Peach Sangria shade, which is that really pretty raspberry purple. So I haven't used this yet on my eye, so hopefully it works out better. But I will say this palette is very limited on how many looks you can create with this. I was actually looking on Google. I was trying to figure out some different looks to do with this palette because I'm going to do a dupe tutorial today, and I didn't want to do the exact same look that I did when I reviewed this palette, but literally all the looks are identical. Like everything looks the exact same. I feel like there's not, my nose is running. I feel like there's not really a whole lot you can do with this. Anyway, Shop Hush, they're my homies over there. They have come through once again and have given us a potential dupe palette from a brand called Face Candy. I've never seen this brand before, so I'm guessing it's a newer brand to their website. So this is the Milkshake eyeshadow palette. This is $12, and you can only find this on the Shop Hush app. You cannot order this on the Shop Hush website. Just looking at it, it's definitely not set up the exact same way. Like the layout is a little bit different. The Milkshake palette's actually a little bit more pigmented, and it's definitely more powdery than the Too Faced eyeshadows. The Too Faced eyeshadows are powdery too, but they're a lot drier and they just feel a lot more expensive. And these are very, very pigmented. These are very smooth and easy to work with. I mean, everything just meshes together on the eyes, and it's so easy to work with. These in the Milkshake palette are very flaky and very dusty. When you swatch them, like if you get a lot of product on your finger, they go everywhere. Now that's just with a finger swatch though, so obviously you're applying different pressure, your finger's gonna pick up more product, so swatches aren't always the best indicator of how something's going to perform. Like I said, I do not know what kind of look I'm gonna do aside from the one that I created in the first review video I did with the Too Faced palette, so I probably won't steer very far away from that one. If any, I'll probably just go ahead and recreate that one. I hate to do that, but honestly, I really don't know what else I can create with this. We will do the Too Faced palette on this side and the dupe palette, the Milkshake palette on this side. And like always, I try to use as many shades as possible so that I can give you guys a full idea as to how this works, because this is basically a first impression, and I don't like to keep my first impressions simple. I like to actually show you guys how they wear throughout the day, how every shade that I'm using performs, and I will check back in at the end of the night and show you guys how each side held up. I've already primed my eyelids, so the first thing I'm gonna do is go in with Peach Meringue, the Too Faced palette, and its dupe on the other side, and use that to set my entire eyelid. I am using the same brush for each side because if I use different brushes, then it's not going to be a good indicator because I'm using different densities and stuff. It's not that serious. We're just going to use the same brush. Who cares? And just for funsies, I'm going to go ahead and go in with Peach Butter as well, which is more peachy. I will wipe off my brush in between every shade when I'm switching from the Too Faced palette to the dupe palette. So now I'm going to go into Whipped, which is the Peach Meringue dupe, and then French Vanilla, which is the Peach Butter dupe. So Whipped is applying really nicely. A little bit is going very far. Wiping off the brush and going in with French Vanilla, which is the Peach Butter dupe. The dupe shade is actually a little bit brighter on this side, so that's cool. So, okay, so we're just gonna start from lightest to darkest. I'm gonna go in with Peaches and Cream. And then the dupe looks like this one right here, which is Butterscotch. So again, putting that in the crease on the other side, but a lot of pigments coming off on the pan, so there is quite a bit of dust and debris, but there's also quite a bit of dust with the Too Faced palette. So here's what we got so far. They look the same. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into Just Peachy, which is just a tad bit darker than Peaches and Cream. So it looks like this one right here, Strawberry Milk, is trying to dupe the Just Peachy shade. There is quite a bit of fallout on this side. Actually, there's an equal amount. Where did that come from? Okay, so we got a little bit of fallout on both sides. Okay, this is gonna get real redundant, so I'm gonna try to speed through this. So I'm gonna take Peach Tea. It's almost like a golden tan. Also, I'm not pulling my eye. I am literally just anchoring my finger because I hate to do this. I want my hand to be on my face somewhere. So Peanut Butter is trying to dupe that shade looks pretty similar. I'm gonna go into Fresh Picked, which is a tad bit more warm. It looks like this one right here, which is called Root Beer Float, is trying to dupe Fresh Picked. So again, putting it in the outer V in the crease. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with Peach Cobbler, which is a tad bit more orange, and the dupe shade is Caramel. Okay, so now moving on to Peach Punch. I love this one. This one's more like a corally peach, and the dupe for it is Cherry on top, and that's pretty obvious. So I basically want this to eat my eyeball, so we're gonna put this all over. If we can dupe this shade, then this palette is a go. Oh, yes. Yeah, this one is actually more opaque. Okay, so I think we're to a point where we need to move on to the purples. So here is Peach Sangria, and then the dupe shade is Black Raspberry. So the problem that I had with this shade before is that it creased really bad, especially like right here in the inner corner for some reason. I don't really know why. I did use every primer in my collection, primers that I trust, and I had that problem each time I used it. So maybe it was just a batch issue. I didn't have anyone else saying that in the comments. It is a little bit patchy, and it's just kind of like it wants to settle in the fine lines in the inner portion. I'll go back in with that brush that I used with the really bright coral. Coral! Okay, so now we're gonna go into Black Raspberry. I'm wiping off the brush. Oh, a lot of fallout. Literally the exact same tone. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this off because it's bothering me. So I'm tapping off the excess this time to see if that helps with the fallout issue, and there's definitely not as much fallout when you tap off the excess, so maybe that's my problem. But I will say the dupe shade is actually looking more smooth. I feel like with the Too Faced one, it's kind of starting to muddy a little bit, like it's kind of starting to lose that like purple pizzazz, like that raspberry tone to it, and it's just kind of like getting a little bit darker and more muddy, whereas this one's kind of holding up its brightness. Now I just now applied it, so maybe this one's just oxidizing. It definitely looks a little bit more smooth. Okay, so moving up to the brow bone, I'm gonna take Peach Butter, which is the peachy skin tone colored shade, and French Vanilla. Hey guys, so I'm back with the finished look. It's about 4:30 right now. I'm pretty sure we have an exact dupe on our hands. I mean, again, we're still testing out the wear and stuff. If you like this shade range, go with the cheaper version because literally everything looks identical, if not better. I do like the purple shade better. I feel like it did apply better. It looks more smooth and soft on the eyes, and I'm not getting any kind of crease issues or anything. Whereas with the Too Faced one, I feel like it's coming. Actually, wait a minute. Oh my God. It's happening with both of them. Oh, crap. But look, exact same spot on both eyes. I feel like this is the same formulation. This is crazy. Well, there goes my happiness. It's still a really pretty look, and when my eyes are open, you can't see it. $45 creasing, $12 creasing. But I'm gonna go about my day and I will check back at the end of the night. Okay guys, so I'm back for my final check-in. It's now about 9:30. I pretty much have the same opinions as I did earlier, so I really don't want to get too repetitive. I mean, I think these are exact dupes. I'm blown away in a slightly negative way when it comes to the purple shades because I don't understand why it's doing that. I'm wearing the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, which works with literally every eyeshadow I've ever used, but for some reason, these purple shades do not want to hold up on my eyelids. But I'm gonna keep my final conclusions simple. I can't recommend the Too Faced Just Peachy palette anymore because this one, the Milkshake palette, which is $12, is so much cheaper. It's the exact same. The shades are identical to a T. The blendability is identical. So if you've tried either of these palettes, then please let me know what your experience is with the raspberry purple shadows. I'm really hoping this is an isolated incident, or maybe it's just something in a purple shadow that just doesn't react well with my eyelids. I don't know. I did forget to mention that this does not smell like peaches. It has a kind of a weird like factory kind of smell. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. Thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe, follow me on all social media. All the links are below. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Mwah.